Hey everybody, welcome on into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only live and local show dedicated to giving you all local sports here on the shore. I'm Sports Director Brandon Bossert.
What is up? It's your Shirley Sports anchor, Devin J. Martin. I love Fridays because it's time for Delmarva Sports Insider. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, how can you not get pumped up when you hear that music? All right, we've got a lot of football to talk about tonight, and we saw some pretty good games, but nothing is going to beat what we saw up in Centerville tonight.
Yeah, we definitely had the game of the night between the Queen Anne's Lions and the Y-High Tribe. Brandon, before we get into these highlights, who did you pick to win this game?
All right, now he's going to go on about who picked what games. Yeah. I picked Queen Anne's, I believe, right?
No, you got the Tribe. I got Queen Anne's.
All right,
it was,
so I
it was
think
close,
you know where
though.
this is going.
It was really close, though. We know who anyone could have won. I mean,
Go ahead and check out the picks on 47abc.com.
I'm definitely in last place, so that's the only reason I want to take the W's where I can get them. Now, the Tribe were obviously looking to stay in the win column after last week's win over Easton, but on the other side, Queen Anne's, they needed to get back on track after they fell to Chesapeake last week. Now, the Tribe looking to stay in that win column on the road, but the Lions will be the ones to bite first. Devin Wright is going to find Landon Brown, and he goes untouched to the house for 6 points right there. The teams are trading blow after blow in this contest. Now, we're going to jump to the second half. Takai Hugie would show off the speed. The former Wildcat on this play right here. Goes Wildcat.
Nice block.
He goes on the outside, slips the tackles, and he goes all the way down to the sideline for the touchdown. This game would need extra time to decide who the winner was. 19-19 ball game. Takai Hugie is going to do it again for the Tribe. He's going to punch it in for the score. Look at that right there. Tribe win the game, but wait a minute. A flag is down on the play.
No!
Offensive holding. Oh, isn't that the worst? The call goes back. Y-High stays off the scoreboard.
Yeah, someone called in Don Henley because there was dirty laundry on the field. How about this? Queen Anne's John Conley gets the handoff. He goes up the middle, and that's a winner. Queen Anne's takes the game in an overtime thriller. Final score 25-19. What a great finish between these two Bayside rivals.
It took every ounce of the heart. You know, there's no quit in Queen Anne's football. You know, there just isn't, right? We're a bunch of dogs. We're gonna come out. We're gonna fight every single second. I couldn't be prouder of these guys. I love every single one of these guys. You know, it took every single one of them. Hey, we're going far. We're going far, man. Hey, Bayside, watch out.
All right, what a big win for Queen Anne's,
Yeah, they
especially
definitely
coming
needed
off that loss to Chesapeake. They had the forfeit in week 1 as well, so their first win of the season.
Yeah, they didn't want to fall to 0-3. That would be something that would be a death blow for basically the whole season. So 1-2 is not good, but it's much better than 1-3, and really 0-3, and really they're really 1-1. They've only really played 2 games so far.
All right, now moving on to another 2A matchup. Two Bayside teams who know each other very well. The Easton Warriors looking for some payback after the Bulldogs sent them home in the playoffs. That game, the Bulldogs shocked not only Easton but everyone else. Nasai Bell and his team taking everyone by surprise, but this time Easton was well aware of how good the Bulldogs are, and there was Bell showing off the wheels to the home crowd, breaking free for the score. But how about that North Carolina defense? The Bulldogs come away empty-handed on that drive, though.
Yeah, and it would take a little while before they would finally score. The defense was on fire. Dustin Blue and the Warriors couldn't get anything going. The Bulldogs dominating in multiple facets. Ihmir Smith getting the 40-yard punt return touchdown. That was the second touchdown of the game. North Carolina's up 3 scores, but they're not finished. You see Justice Hall going right up the gut for the touchdown. That makes it 28-0. Easton was being shut out on both sides of the ball, and Blue was trying to make some magic happen for Easton, but he's picked off. Tommy Morris jumps the route and gets the pick before he falls out of bounds. North Carolina was having their way. They sealed the deal late in the fourth quarter on the goal line. The backup QB, Corey Bunce, finds Tyson Weber. The game is over. North Carolina wins 35-0.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs are getting back to those dominant ways. We saw them go undefeated a few seasons ago, I believe the year before the COVID season. So North Carolina back as one of the top contenders in the Bayside North. Now out to Berlin, Decatur hosting Bennett, and as you can expect, the Seahawks in the driver's seat in this one. Amarion Manuel bulldozing his way in for the short score. How about Bryson Coleman? Airing it out all the way downfield. Tribe Wise is there. He hauls it in for the score. Seahawks up 14-0 at halftime. Now props to Bennett. They kept this thing close for a while. Coleman to Gavin Solito, who turns and burns the defense. That made it 21-0. How about a top play nominee right here? The Clippers setting up for the punt, but it is blocked, and here comes Kareem Bolden to fall on it for the score. Decatur all over Bennett tonight. How about this from David Dodson sending us this footage? This is great work by the Stephen Decatur team out there. They've done a great job putting together a terrific broadcast that you can watch on YouTube every single week. Decatur wins 35-0, and they are now 3-0.
And now to last night's game between Cambridge South Dorchester and the Parkside Rams. Now, this was a playoff-type atmosphere. The Rams took control at points in the first half, but only led by 1 at halftime. This touchdown run by Nasir Holden gave them that slim 21-20 lead. Now, that was a score late in the fourth quarter when the Vikings drove on the goal line. Quarterback Blake LaBelle scoring on the quarterback keeper to give Cambridge the lead. They would go for 2, and it would get and LaBelle would find Jaron Lewis in the end zone for 2 to give Cambridge a 7-point advantage.
Now, LaBelle, he is a terrific leader for this team. You saw a lot of emotion on his face during this game. Right here, you see it. Senior leader for them. He's going to be a big leader for them this year.
Yeah, now this pass to end in the end zone was knocked away. Cambridge would win the game 28-21. So, yeah, that was a really close game. Obviously, Parkside, a really tough opponent for a 1A school like Cambridge. But Cambridge was able to go on the road, go to County Stadium, and take the W.
Yeah, Parkside has the numbers that Cambridge doesn't. Parkside is also a very physical team. Thought that we would see Cambridge wear down, but hats off to the Vikings for staying with it all 4 quarters. Let's check in on some other scores from around the Bayside. Snow Hill all over Arcadia, 30-0. How about the Eagles? They are 3-0 this year.
Another 1A team looking really good
to see. Colonel Richardson, Kent Island, we do not have a final score as of right now, and Seaford and Kent County taking place tomorrow morning. We'll have more on that later on in the show.
So, Brandon, so far, what team from the Bayside has stuck out to you?
I think North Carolina. Last year during the playoffs, we saw them not only beat down on Easton, but they also showed us a lot against Decatur as well.
Yes,
they did not win that game against Decatur, but we saw flashes of what they could be in that game. So the Bulldogs have shown early on that they are a strong contender in the Bayside North. What about you?
I have to agree with you on the Bulldogs. They were a really young team last year, led by a lot of juniors and sophomores, and I think that experience from what they were able to do last year has definitely turned into, great results so far early in this season. They didn't have a complete game like this last season. A 35-0
all together, and that's what you want to see from young teams.
On offense and on defense, they just overpowered Easton. Easton didn't look like they had the athletes to mess with them. And as you mentioned, they faced Decatur in the second round last year, and it was a pretty close game. It wasn't like a blowout. They only lost by 2 scores.
It was back and forth. It was a lot of offense in that game.
Right, and it was something that Decatur obviously did win, but it wasn't like Easton didn't deserve to be on the field with him. And maybe this can be another thing where they're both in the 2A. They both are going to have to butt heads eventually if they win enough games. Maybe this can turn out a different way, but obviously Decatur still looking like the class of the Bayside by far.
All right, now let's switch gears and talk about the Henlope, and we begin up in Laurel. The Bulldogs playing up in weight class, taking on Caesar Rodney. How about Xavier Limehouse? He gets the call, goes around the corner, and nearly takes it to the house, pushed out inside the 5-yard line. He had over 100 yards on the ground. How about the game from Patrick Bell? 130 yards, 2 scores, punches that one in. Laurel Bulldogs up by 2 scores on the 3A Riders. How about Limehouse getting involved on defense right here? 4th down for the Riders, and that's going to do it for that drive. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, playing both sides of the ball is really important.
It sure is, especially in the 2A. Now to Laurel field goal. That one makes it a 3-score game. The Riders make a comeback attempt, fall just short. Laurel wins 24-19, but I think we're seeing some improvements out of Caesar Rodney so far this season.
Yeah, they've actually been really good. They were able to take down Lake Forest last week. And obviously the Bulldogs, too, they had that struggle game against Sussex Central at the very beginning of the season. But now that they've gotten used to playing a higher level and higher caliber of competition, I think they've been able to kind of adjust. And they've been playing very well. The winners of 2 in a row. Now we're going to go to Delmar. The Wildcats hosting the Washington High Jaguars. Now, Kawhi Jones gets the handoff right here, and see you later. Wide open. He tips toes down the sideline. The big man getting in for 6 right there. The Wildcats is dominating this one from opening whistle. Now here is a play of the week nominee.
It sure is.
Washington pass down the middle is picked off by Khalil Schofield And on the return, he's going. Is he going to be able to take it all the way? No. Look at this late hit right there.
Watch out.
Boom, right into the cheerleader. She is done.
And look, she pops right back up.
Yeah, that's McKenna Himmler. She pops up. They were calling for coach to put her in the game. She definitely, they needed some toughness, and she showed a lot of it
She
today.
showed a lot of toughness out there on the sidelines, and it shows you just how dangerous it is sometimes being out there. Delmarva goes on to win this game 57-0. And now up to Appoquinimink from last night. Dover taking on the Jags. Appo was a division champion in 3A last season, but Dover absolutely smoked the Jaguars last night on the road. Jaquan Kilby with 3 touchdown runs for the Senators. The defense phenomenal in this one. That first play was a 59-yard touchdown pass from Nassim Cosme to Jaheim Cole. One of 2 passes from Cosme to Cole for touchdowns in this one. Dover with an embarrassment of riches on offense.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely a 3A state champion contender. I mean, they have definitely proven their worth so far.
Yeah, they sure are. A lot of people have Middletown and Smyrna as a tier of their own, but I think that Dover is right up there.
Yeah.
Don't look at that championship from last year, 52-7, because this is a totally different season.
Yeah, and they've shown it so far. But obviously, still very early on, but Dover, they're not a team that anyone should be sleeping on.
All right, now let's look at some of the final scores from the Henlopen. Cape Henlopen, 56-0 winners over Del Castle. Polytech, 40-0 over Charter.
Yeah,
that's an impressive final score, as Charter was a winning team last year.
Yes, it is.
I think the most impressive thing here is Indian River over St. Elizabeth.
Yep. The defending 1A state champs goes down to
The defending
1A
runners-up.
Runner-up state runner-ups goes down to Indian River. And I had talked to their head coach during one of the previews for one of the football previews this year, and he was mentioning that Indian River, his team, is someone that they should be looking out for. Obviously, Laurel's out of the 1A, and that leaves St. Elizabeth, and someone else can kind of fill that void, and it might be IR be able to do it.
Dylan Grice snuck in a touchdown with 3:51 left in the game, and then IR with a last-second goal line stand. I'm going to say it right now, IR is a championship contender in the 1A this season. And Red Lion all over Lake Forest tonight, 28-6. The Lions scoring 3 times in the second half. And one more thing, hey, shout out to Early College. They defeat AI DuPont 38-6 tonight for the first win in program history.
Congratulations. I think they first started their program, 2021? It's been a couple years, and now they finally got their first win. You got to start from somewhere.
Yep.
And this is something that this can be a good building block for them.
All right, hats off to the Hornets. That'll do it for the A block. We're calling our first timeout. But when we come back, a rematch of the Field Hockey Division I Championship in Delaware. Stick around. You're watching DSI.
Hello, my name is Levita Moffett. I'm the head coach of Smyrna Eagles field hockey program, and you are watching Delmarva Sports Insider.